Tyler Robinson, the alleged loser that took Charlie Kirk's life, in my opinion, there's no way he's making it to trial. After this new report, not only is he refusing to cooperate, which I would expect any criminal to do, to be honest with you. What's the point of cooperating outside of maybe getting the capital punishment off the table? Maybe you confess and they say, hey, you can have life in prison instead of this. I don't know. I have a feeling there are a lot of people who find Christ in church and may make an exception, or in prison, I'm sorry, and may make an exception for him anyway. But right now, it just, there's also been extraordinary measures put in place and saying that it is severe. Let's look at this report. By the way, my name's Jeremy. This is the Jeremy Hambly channel. It's a channel listed specifically to my name. So it's more raw. It's more kind of less Fent City of me. Make sure you're subscribed to it. You may recognize me from my many other channels, but really the Quartering and this channel are the two main places to catch me.
Fox News alert, Charlie Kirk's assassin is on suicide watch, and he's not cooperating with the police. But his DNA was found everywhere, from the towel he conceived the gun in to a screwdriver found near the sniper's nest. The investigation isn't stopping with Tyler Robinson.
We're seeing who talked to who, not just in chat groups. We're seeing who texted who was around who. We're using our geofencing capabilities to map out exactly where individuals were. And then we're also getting into their personal cell phone information to say, were you calling so-and-so? Were you texting so-and-so?
Robinson was in group chats with dozens of people. The FBI is working on cracking in.
We now know, as of testimony this morning, they initially reported 20 people were in that Discord group. But Cash Patel reports that it was far more than 20. Extraordinary measures a jail has now put in motion to keep Charlie Kirk assassin suspect alive. Tyler Robinson is being held in a Utah jail under extreme scrutiny, meant not only to keep the suspect from ending his own life, but also to prevent foul play and even more drama around the Charlie Kirk assassination. The Utah County Sheriff's Department has placed Robinson under special watch, a set of measures designed in part to keep an inmate from hurting themselves in custody. They're due to make their first appearance in court, likely via video link today. I plan on being live streaming that. It said 2 Eastern. At that time, we'll hear that this apparently is fixed now, apparently. Or I'm sorry, not fixed now. The charges, we'll hear more about that. I'll be live on the Quartering Live and on my main channel, on the Quartering on Rumble as well and stuff. You guys know where I'm live. If I was involved with the faculty where Mr. Robinson was placed, I would really be mindful of the type of things that happen to Jeffrey. Don't get that repeated. An expert in jail conditions told the Daily Mail. Lieutenant Rhett Williams, a sheriff's spokesperson, said Monday that he is not at liberty to discuss Robinson's state of mind or living conditions in the 1,092 bed Utah County Jail, so-called special housing unit away from other prisoners. Experts say the focus shooter, now inmate number 460956, is in lockup in Spanish Fork, Utah, will be under constant surveillance whether he is whether or not he has considered or voiced thoughts about hurting himself. Special watch cells are always lit, regardless of the time of day, so corrections officers can monitor the inmates' movements at all times. Turning out the lights isn't an option, said Joseph Gunja, a jail consultant and expert witness who worked for more than 30 years within Federal Bureau of Prisons. Ver adds that sleep deprivation and lack of privacy can be overwhelming, especially for someone who, like Robinson, is doing his first stint behind bars. The first few days are going to be the most severe for him. It's obviously, he's got very shocking as it all sinks in. He said, given the intense worldwide scrutiny around Kirk's assassination, experts expect the Sheriff's Department is also recording Robinson on a video system constantly being monitored by another officer. Now, I would say we probably want more than one video record of it. We probably want to go ahead and have a backup video case so we don't have the videotape failing or minutes missing from the videotape years later, all that kind of stuff. Let's just get that out of the way. If one of the officers observing him needs to eat or make a phone call or relieve themselves, replacements must be sent in. The point is to not to take your eye off him for even a few seconds, so nothing unfortunate happens. Since Ver, a former prison warden and jail director in Nevada, why don't you just put him in one of those chairs where your arms and legs are like bound and you just stay there? And when you have to make a judge come or an officer comes in, lets you out, and then you go right back in the chair. Like, why wouldn't you just do that? You know, don't even allow them to move freely. Give them I would say also, you know, even though fighting the urge to be inhumane, you know, get his trial going as quick as possible, but, you know, restrict his movement until that. Like, I want this guy to stand trial. America needs a trial. We need closure. We need to know who the co-conspirators were. We need to know who else was involved. There should be no plea deal here. None. Zip, zero. No plea deal. No plea deal. And if this guy doesn't make it to trial and through trial, I want him, you know, I want a scarecrow sat in his chair, and I want the trial to happen anyway. We need to know. One of the officers, the point is in that take care of inmates placed in special watch generally aren't allowed to wear regular prison garb. Instead, they're given special anti-self-harm smocks, known among inmates as turtle suits or pickle suits, made of an especially thick material that they cannot tear or use to hang themselves or do anything like that. It's used for the same reasons that bed sheets, blankets, and pillows are not allowed or provided. Walls and floors of special watch cells be cushioned so inmates can't injure themselves in that manner either. Here. The cells generally have no hooks or any other hardware, which inmates could otherwise use. Some have combined toilets and sinks, which plumbing is embedded behind walls to keep them from hurting themselves with dismantled pipes. Some simply have holes in the ground instead of toilets to avoid the need for plumbing altogether. I'm fine with a hole in the ground. I'm absolutely positively fine with him using a hole in the ground until he's in a hole in the ground. Light fixtures are secured on high ceilings where inmates can't reach them. Break bulbs into shards or use the electricity. Meals are typically delivered on soft trays through meal slots and expected to be eaten without utensils or even a spork. Pencils and pens are forbidden, and in some jails, special watch cells, napkins and toilet paper are even limited, so inmates can't use them to try and, cut off any kind of airways or anything of that nature. People have tried to swallow their socks and do all sorts of crazy stuff. Jails typically assess the mental health of inmates in their first few days after being booked in to decide what, among other things, what kind of cells need to be housed. Look, this guy needs to be in that cell until trial. When he's not in court, he's in that cell. Period. And I mean, to be honest, they should be live streaming it. I want to be able to check in on this guy at any moment. I wouldn't feel that way if not for the Jeffrey incident. But I don't have a lot of faith that he's going to make it to trial. Do you? He was a student in electrical engineering apprenticeship program, so there's other stuff that maybe you have to take care of. But this guy, he will likely live out his days at Utah State Correctional Facility in Salt Lake City. He is also likely facing the death penalty, a lengthy process that could lead to him spending years or even decades behind bars before the sentence is carried out. That's one thing that I wish we did better. You know, Japan, other countries, when they have these type of penalties, they're carried out right after the trial. Done. I get that sometimes we get it wrong, and that's why there's these processes in place to how people have appeals. But I think in this case, we should have another level where the capital punishment is expedited. You know, in cases like this, where the taxpayers don't have to pay millions of dollars keeping this guy alive for the next 20 years. The moments after the guilty verdict, march him right into the other room, get it over with, so the nation can heal and can move on. The precautions the department is taking is likely with Robinson are meant only to protect him from self-harm. He said likely the jail aims to protect the suspect from other foul play, including by other inmates or jail staff motivated by any number of reasons, including desire to avenge Kirk's assassination. something bad could happen. In this case, the high profile, somebody could end up just taking his life because they know it will make them famous. Yeah, I mean, I want the justice system. I want the justice system to do this. I don't want another person to spend more time behind bars avenging Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk wouldn't want that. You know, he was obviously very strong in his Christian faith. I doubt Charlie Kirk would even want him to get the death penalty, to be honest with you. I don't know if he'd ever spoke about, you know, his feelings on that, but I suspect he wouldn't be. I'm actually fine with him just spending his life in prison. You know, I've become a little softer on the death penalty. I just kind of, I get it. I don't care. I'm not going to shed any tears over it, but I'm fine with life in prison. I don't think for justice to be served that we need to take another life, you know? But ultimately, I'm still very, very skeptical that we're going to see this guy go to trial. But trust me, we need a trial. This country needs a trial, because hopefully that can be used to turn down the temperature. Hopefully that can be used to open the eyes of America to leftist, these groups of people that are largely caped for or covered for, swept for by mainstream media. America needs to hear just how large these groups are and how quickly they can turn some kid who's received a full ride scholarship into somebody who would do something like this. I hope you're informed by this video. I hope that you'll subscribe to this, my personal channel, the Jeremy Hambly channel, and we'll talk to you again real soon.